Ooh la 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 la. Oh yeah, I'm excited today. I'm excited about doing the Cleveland Brown draft prediction, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what I've been waiting for. I think the Cleveland Browns are definitely going to be a team. We all know last year the situation, what happened last year as far with the Deshaun Watson. So last year was basically a red shirt season for the Cleveland Browns. So I'm not even going to count last year. Last year was all getting Deshaun, you know what I'm saying, the suspension situation and just getting a lot of kinks worked out. But I think going into 2023 season, I really like what the Cleveland Browns and I really like the 2023 season and their forecast. So what I'm going to talk about is my prediction. So as you already seen, I like the Cleveland Browns. I think they could be a playoff team next year. I know there's a whole talk about oh man, the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson got paid all this money. Blase, blase, blase. I think y'all going to see the new Deshaun Watson, the old Deshaun Watson with the Cleveland Browns, not even the new Deshaun Watson, just the old excellent Deshaun Watson back, man. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns got outstanding running game. Deshaun Jackson is one of the best play action quarterback in the NFL. I think the Cleveland Brown fans are really going to see why Deshaun Watson, I keep saying Deshaun Jackson, excuse me, why Deshaun Watson was paid so much. And I think he's going to really, really pay his dues coming into the 2023 season. I love everything about the Cleveland Browns as far as offensively. I like what they're doing. I like what they want to do. And I love their offseason moves as well, man. So I love their addition. Not splash offseason move, but enough key players and key moves that I really, really like. I love the addition of Juan Thornhill as far as the safety, the free safety position. Juan Thornhill is a great team player. He's a great in the locker room, and he has high football IQ. So I think he's going to be in position and he's going to make plays. That's what the Cleveland Browns going to need. Guys that's going to be in position to make plays. And Juan Thornhill, as you see his career, he always make plays in big time games. Also, like the Elijah Moore pickup from the New York Jets, I think that's another weapon right there to go ahead with Amari Cooper, who's an undercover beast. Honestly, Amari Cooper, I know he goes hot and cold at times, but when he's hot, he's one of the top 10, 15 receivers in this league. So I like the addition of Elijah Moore. He could wiggle in the inside, he could play the slot, could move outside, he could do a lot of things. I like the draft, what they did. So all in all, man, I like what they're doing. I think Denzel Ward with Newsom, that's a good secondary with Juan Thornhill, Grant Delpit. I love, obviously, JOK. I think he's an elite linebacker, and I expect him to take a monster leap this year in the as far as defensively. Obviously, they have the all-world Myles Garrett. So the Cleveland Browns are really in a great position to take that step and be a playoff team in the tough NFC North. So I'm going to tell you guys my prediction, the games I believe they will win and why they will win, the games I feel like they could be kind of iffy for them. So we're going to get started as far as predicting the Cleveland Browns 2023 schedule, right? So as y'all can see on the screen, we're going to start with week one. They host the Cincinnati Bengals. And we know the animosity between these two teams, man. They really don't like each other. You seen what the Bengals receiving corps say, what they talk about Denzel Ward. It's like it's a battle right here. But I like the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns to dominate the defensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals, man. So first game coming up, I see the Cleveland Browns running the ball, getting play actions, and Deshaun Watson being very, very efficient. Now, Deshaun Watson is not going to throw the ball 40, 45 times a game. No, he's going to be in that 30 to 35 times a game range with play action, taking deep shots, having Donovan Peoples-Jones and Deku, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of their tight ends out there. They're going to utilize their tight end and the mid-range game. So the Cleveland Browns are going to pound the ball and use the mid-range game and then shoot a couple of threes and deep balls. So I expect them to be very efficient offensively, and this will be the reason why I think they could beat the Cincinnati Bengals in the Battle of Ohio. So week one, I got the Cleveland Browns beating the Cincinnati Bengals, probably about, I would say 24-20 ball game or 21-23 ball game. I mean, I don't think it's going to be more than a 4-point game. I see it being very close, come down to the last drive. But I think the Cleveland Brown defense, with the addition of Juan Thornhill and company, you know what I'm saying, Denzel Ward, those guys always play the Bengals tough. So 1-0 Cleveland Browns against the Cincinnati Bengals. Week number two, they travel to Pittsburgh. At Pittsburgh, this is an ABC game right here, man. So it's a Monday night game. It's. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. You know how Pittsburgh is a tough place to play. Another battle, another rivalry, NFC North battle on the road. I mean, it's tough to win on the road in this division, man. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to win coming from I mean, a tough ass game, and I think them having that extra day. It's going to be tough, man. I like Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. So it seems like the Pittsburgh Steelers at home playing in that division. It's a tough, tough bet. And I see the Browns losing this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers to start out the season 1-1. So moving to week 3, hosting the Tennessee Titans. I really don't have high hopes for the Tennessee Titans this season, man. I really don't. I think it's going to be another tough, rugged game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. The Cleveland Browns are going to be a low-scoring. They don't want to get in a high shootout. This team is not built for a shootout. So I anticipate them, you know what I'm saying, if they're going to win games and how they're going to win games is through running the ball, play action, let Deshaun Watson make the mid-range, and maybe sometimes take the three-point, the deep shot. So with this, the Tennessee Titans going to play right into what the Cleveland Browns wants to do. So I expect the Cleveland Browns to beat the Tennessee Titans really handily. I know the Titans are a feisty team, but the Titans are now going through a rebuilding situation. So they got a lot going on. Right there. So I think the Browns going to beat the Tennessee Titans to start the season 2-1. And then they host the Baltimore Ravens, man. Look, the Ravens got, I mean, it's hard for me to pick against the Ravens, man. It seems like the Ravens have been the stalwart of this division. They basically own the Cleveland Browns. So I expect the Cleveland Browns to lose this game because it's a battle, man. I mean, they went to Pittsburgh Monday night and then the short week to play Tennessee, and then they stay home and host Baltimore. It's just a lot for the Cleveland Browns, man, in the first 4 weeks of the season. So I see them taking the L week number 4 at home versus the Baltimore Ravens in a close game. But I just think the Ravens, as far as Lamar, what he could do, his skill set, I think they're going to give the Cleveland Browns a little bit of a problem. So I anticipate the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. Another, you know what I'm saying, dog fight. So they're going into the bye week, which is an early bye week. I see the Cleveland Browns going 2-2. Now, coming off the bye week, they have a tough matchup at home, man. This is going to be another bloodshed matchup, man. They hosted San Francisco 49ers. We know the 49ers roster, man. I think the roster and the way they're built, I feel like they will give the Cleveland Browns problem as far as roster-wise. Player personnel, the D-line of the 49ers are built to stop the running game. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Fred Warner and company. So they're built to stop the running game, which is the strength of the Cleveland Browns. And also, I think secondary wise, man, with Travarius Ward and company and to Anola Ufanga. I just don't like this matchup at all coming out the bye week for the Cleveland Browns. I see them taking the L to go 2-3 after the first 5 games of this season in week number 6. Week number 7, they travel to the Indianapolis Colts, who are in a rebuilding situation right now. So I don't think much of the Indianapolis Colts, even though they're going to fight you to the death, they're a feisty team. They're going to battle. That's what they do. That's how their roster is built. They're not going to lay down. So I think it's going to be a closer game than anticipated. But overall, I just think the Cleveland Browns got a little bit more in the trenches. And also, as far as in the secondary, just the defense is going to take toll against Indianapolis Colts in this game. I think the defense is going to win this. The offense is going to struggle a little bit because the Colts are a feisty team. They got a feisty defense. But I think the running game and the defense going to win this battle. So in Indianapolis, I see the Cleveland Browns winning this game to even up their record at 3-3 after week 7. Week number 8, they travel all the way to the Pacific Northwest to play my Seattle Seahawks. Once again, I think the Seahawks going to be a very explosive offensive team. And also they got a booking as far as a good offensive line. It's once again, just like the 49ers, I don't think roster-wise it's a good situation for the Cleveland Browns, especially traveling all the way out there. So I think it's going to be a shock for them, and I expect them to probably have one of their worst performances of the season against the Seattle Seahawks. So I see them losing this game to get their record back to 3-4. And now they travel to Arizona, just like the Tennessee Titans game I told y'all. The Arizona Cardinals are in a rebuilding situation. I don't even think Kyler is going to be playing at this time. So also they have a new coach, a new staff. They're going to be working. This is basically a red shirt season for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think they're going to be a very good team. Right now, I don't even think they're a very good organization. So they got a lot of things to figure it out. And I think the Browns' overall roster, everything about the Browns are better than Arizona Cardinals. So I expect the Browns to win this game to get their record to 4-4 after the defeat of the Arizona Cardinals. And then they travel to Baltimore. They travel to Baltimore. Honestly, I think the Ravens going to sweep the Browns this year. As hard as it is to, Lamar got the Browns number, man. Lamar knows how to beat the Cleveland Browns. I expect Lamar to be Lamar, and I expect, especially him getting this payday, he's going to play with a little bit of reckless abandon. And I just like the Baltimore roster right now as is better than the Cleveland Browns roster. So bring the brooms out to Baltimore, and you know how hard it is to win in Baltimore. So that Sunday game right there at Baltimore, mark an L for the Cleveland Browns, man. So that'll bring their record now after what week number 10 right there. So they'll be 5-5 basically again, right? So now let's move to the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers week number 11, right? So week number 11, I have the Baltimore Ravens beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, I think this is, the Cleveland Browns. I keep saying the Baltimore Ravens, right? I see the Cleveland Browns beating the Pittsburgh Steelers over there in week number 11, right? So that's a home game. This little rivalry is hard. I think the only team that's going to sweep in this division is the Ravens over the Browns as far as that goes. But overall, I think it's always a knockdown drag out, man. So the Pittsburgh going to come to play. Cleveland's going to come to play. So, but I just think once again it's going to be one of them low scoring trenches battle. And I just think the home crowd and the offseason acquisitions, the Warren Thornhills, the Elijah Moore, I think those guys are going to be the difference maker in week number 11 at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Week number 12, they travel to Denver against the Denver Broncos. Honestly, I don't know what to think about the Denver Broncos. Obviously, last year they were a debacle. I don't necessarily see them having a super season, a super chance, but obviously they're going to improve. They're going to be more competitive. Last year, I don't think they were very competitive at all. I mean, Russell Wilson, the offense stink. Obviously, they're going to be better this year, but I think the Denver Broncos roster is really not there yet. Not like the Cleveland Browns roster. So with that said, I see the Cleveland Browns going to the Mile High, which is a tough place to play. Regardless of the Denver Broncos record, Mile High is a very, very tough place to play. But I think the Cleveland Browns are going to come out with a W against the Denver Broncos, man. So you looking at it, I'll be back-to-back victories right there. I think the Browns are going to go on a little bit of a streak right there, man. So week number 13, they travel to LA to go against the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams are rebuilding. The Rams, I mean, I look at the roster. Obviously, they got Stafford, they got Cooper Kupp. I know they got guys that could really cause problems for you. But overall, the Rams team is not better than the Cleveland Browns. From top to bottom, the Cleveland Browns should go over there and dominate the trenches. Yeah, I know Aaron Donald, but I think they really gonna make Aaron Donald be a run stopper, which is not what makes him great. We know he's elite as far as getting to the quarterback. So I don't really trust the Rams defensive line and linebacking core to be able to contain this running game. And I expect Deshaun Watson to have a big game against the Los Angeles Rams, whose secondary is not going to be very good. The Rams are really not going to be very good this year. So I expect another W for the Cleveland Browns in LA, La La Town. Week 14, they come back home to host the Jacksonville Jags. This is December 10th. Jacksonville, man, they got to come to Cleveland. It's going to be a weather situation. It might be snowing. It might be windy. It's going to be a horrible weather. And I never like a Southern team or a team that's, play in the nice sunshine. No team in the Sunshine State in December coming up it's just going to be a weather situation. I don't think the Jacksonville Jags are built for that right now in this situation as far as how they're built. So I expect the Browns to continue the winning streak, to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars in a what I predict to be a high scoring game, actually, man. I think it's going to be probably a 31-28 ball game, 31-27 Cleveland Browns. This would be because we know the Jags going to put points on the board with Trevor Lawrence. I see another big game by Deshaun Watson, man. And this is when I really start seeing the Browns offense rolling. This little stretch right now, you're going to see the Browns basically from week number 11 all the way down to week 14. They're going to see the Cleveland Browns offense really, really ticking. So obviously I got them beating the Jacksonville Jags. Week 15, playing the new form Chicago Bears at home. The Chicago Bears obviously going to be a surprise team. I mean, the Bears are really going to surprise people. I really like how the Bears are built. But overall, I like the Cleveland Browns a little bit better than the Chicago Bears in week 15. I think the Browns are rolling right now, man. Like I could see the running game going. I see the intermediate passing game going. Ujoku, Amari. Like I really, really see the Browns really catching this hot streak. And the Chicago Bears are going to be just a speed bump in the road. So another W for the Cleveland Browns, man. So the schedule, God's really blessed the Cleveland Browns, honestly, as far as their last part of their schedule, because they're really playing teams that are not really superior in any aspect of the game, but that they're also rebuilding as far as a roster situation. So I definitely see the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson and company and the coaching staff really, really building momentum right now, building momentum. And then they travel to in week 16 to play the Houston Texans. We all know the Texans are in a rebuilding situation. They're going to be very, very good defensively. So this is going to be another scratchy game. It's going to be similar to Indianapolis Colts game because the Texans defensively are really, really going to be good. They're really, really going to give the Cleveland Browns a sort of an obstacle. But like I said, overall right now, the Cleveland Browns are feeling it right now, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like five games in a row. You know, they're feeling good. They're feeling hot now. They're in the zone. So I expect them to go to H-Town and come out with a W. So and then they got a short week and travel to the New York Jets. This is when I think the winning streak is going to take a pause. That short week from that Sunday in H-Town, and then they got a home game against the New York Jets. I think that short week is going to catch up to the Cleveland Browns because it's been a while, man. They've been playing. They had their bye in week 5, so this is when it's going to catch up to them. I see Aaron Rodgers and company and the New York Jets. You know, it's going to be another knockdown drag out. I see a 18, 15 ball game, maybe a 20 to 17 ball game. It's going to be another low scoring ball game. I think it's going to come out to probably a field goal in the last 2 minutes of the drive to win this game. So, but I see the 5-game winning streak coming to a halt at home on that Thursday night versus the New York Jets. And then finish it up on the week number 18th, January 7th, at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are always a better team towards the end of the season than they are in the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? So at this stage, I like the Bengals a little bit more. It seems like they're always clicking. You look at them since during the Joe Burrow era, the Cincinnati Bengals always play better towards after Thanksgiving. That's when everything clicks. You know, they kind of remind me of the old Patriots days. You know, after Thanksgiving hit, that's when they take their game to the next level. So I expect the Cincinnati Bengals to come out on fire. They're going to be clicking. So I see the Cleveland Browns losing this game, the last game of the season in Cincinnati, man, in the Battle of Ohio. I see Joe Burrow and those guys winning and pulling a close one out. This is going to be another physical ball game. But I see the Cleveland Browns taking an L to end this season, man. Not the way they wanted to finish, because I see them losing 2 straight to finish the season going into the playoff. I see the Cleveland Browns as a playoff team in the 2023 season. So overall, what I predict for the Cleveland Browns, I predict a 10-7 record overall. I think this is a playoff team. I think Andrew Berry has done a good job of building this team. I think last year was obviously a red shirt year. Last year really didn't mean nothing. It just getting Deshaun Watson back into football shape, back into, you know what I'm saying, getting back into playing football again, getting in the locker room, feeling his teammates and company. So I expect the Cleveland Browns to take a step and to be a playoff team in the tough, tough AFC division, especially what I think is going to be the toughest division in the AFC North. So y'all know this, man. I love Andrew Berry and I love what they do in Cleveland. I know a lot of people like, oh man, it's the Browns, oh the Browns stinks, and so on and so on. Nah, man, y'all heard this first, man. I'm the G to the U to the R to the U, the guru, and my 2023 schedule prediction for the Cleveland Browns will be 10-7 and a wild card. You know what I'm saying? You have an extra wild card team, so I see them being one of the last wild card team to jump and sneak in to the playoff, man. And if y'all love this content, this is what I do, man. I'm a football nerd. I love what I do. I got plenty of other content, man. And if you're first time listening, y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We moving. We're approaching 4,000 subscribers. So let's keep this momentum going, man. Also, to help to the channel, I have the link right there in the description. If you want to help the channel grow, we taking donations. You know, we got the PayPal's, we got the Venmo, we got the Cash App, whichever method of donation you want to donate to help this channel grow, because this channel is what it is, man. If you're a football fucking nerd, man, if you're all about that football nerd life, then you got the channel for you, man. Y'all know who this is, man. I'm the guru, and I'm out.